Now you see this thumbnail right here? Like, if you do your research, then you know that neither one of these two actresses are gone. And it made me think about something. It made me question, like, do people really resort to these kind of tactics just to get people to click on their videos? And it reminded me something about myself that in a way that I've been most of my life. And that is that how you win is just as important as winning. And I want to tell you something, but in order to do that, I have to tell you a story. So have a seat and let's get started. I've been a gamer most of my life, and while I haven't gamed in the last few years, in the last year or so, whatever, I got introduced to gaming at a young age. Remember how games used to have like those codes you can punch in on the controller, up, down, left, right, A, C, whatever. I don't remember none of them. But remember those codes? Like, I remember Sonic the Hedgehog had one where you can punch it in. It was something similar to that, up, down, left, right, and you can like skip to like the last level and face Dr. Robotnik on the last stage. Konami had a real popular one. I don't remember what it did, but I just remember like it was called the Konami code. Like, and it was almost the same for every game. Like, you punch that in and it did whatever it did. You remember those? I, when I used to buy a game, when my mom used to buy me games or whatever, like, I was so fixated on these codes. Like, so I would get a brand new game and immediately try to find ways, because computers and the internet weren't a big thing back in the 90s, but I would immediately try to find codes to play the game. Like, I wouldn't play a game unless I was able to have those codes. It went as so far as I at one point, like, I convinced my mom to buy me a Game Shark. You remember those? Like, you can, if I remember right, like, you can plug them in. You can plug the game into the Game Shark, and then the Game Shark had like preset codes that you can turn on, and you get things like unlimited ammo and extra lives or God mode and stuff like that. And I would pride myself on playing these games and beating the games, right? Well, one day I came across a game. It was called, if I remember right, it's called Comic Zone. It was about a dude who got like sucked into a comic, and like you played the pages, the levels were like pages in a comic, and the pages would flip when you get to the next level and stuff like that. And there was this code. It was called God mode, and I would punch in this code, and I would play the game, and literally, like, you couldn't die. Like, you, no matter what happened, like, you would not die. Well, I'm going through the game fairly, close to the beginning, and there's a part in the game where I had to jump over this gap. And if you didn't jump over the gap, there was like a spike pit at the bottom. So I would try to jump over this gap, and no matter how many times I tried, I wouldn't make it. And I would fall into the spike pit. But I had on God mode, because I had on God mode, I wouldn't die, but I couldn't get out of the pit. So the only way to continue playing the game was to reset the game, like start over, and either disable the code or make damn sure well that I cleared this gap. So being the hard-headed little kid that I was, I wouldn't disable the code, and I would get to this point, and repeatedly I would fall into the gap. And it was only one try. Like, if you made it, you get to proceed. If you didn't make it, you'd have to reset the game. And that taught me something, that cheating comes at a cost. But then it also made me realize, was I beating these games? Nah. I was just so focused on seeing the end of it, to seeing the ending, that I would cheat my way through the game, and it just, it started to feel like I wasn't really accomplishing anything, because I wasn't. Like, it started to feel like 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 what I was doing really didn't count. So when I would tell somebody I'd beat the game, in the back of my mind I'd be like, yeah, but I had to do this in order to do that. So now, fast forward a few years, well, a lot of years, because now I'm adult. So this is about, let's say, 10 years ago, right? My brother and I used to play GTA 5, which I think GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption, greatest games ever made, in my opinion. Anyway, we used to play GTA 5, and we loved playing the racing events. And we would get in, we would run to one of the events, log in, and we would we would go through the struggle of trying to make sure that we wound up in the same race. And when we did, we would race, and a lot of times, I would find myself, in the lead or close to it or whatever. And I'd be going along, and we'd come across a section where a turn or something, and somebody would literally, another racer would come literally and run me off the road. And I can't tell you how infuriating that made me, to the point where, like, I was raging. And my brother, he couldn't understand. He would tell me, like, dude, do that shit back. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, knock their asses off the damn track. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. Like, something had changed in me from the time that I was a kid, where I would do whatever I can just to get the win, to the point where now I couldn't do it. Like, I wanted to win. I wanted to win. I wanted to have the glory of being first place. But something in me wouldn't allow me to resort to such methods just to do so. Like, if I had to run you off the road to get the win, then to me, that was unethical. It wasn't clean. Like, it wasn't, I don't know, like, and it would frustrate me to the point that I was a rager back then, and I wound up, like, eventually, like, putting my hand through the TV, and we had to, like, stop playing GTA 5. Like, it was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, that's part of the reason why I don't play anymore, because I was such a rager. But anyway, so, like I said, my brother couldn't understand. He was like, dude, like, I don't, like, do that shit back. And he would, like, come up alongside me, and he would do it for me. And I'm like, man, I can't, dude. Like, I want to win, but I want to win clean. I want to win. I want there to be, when I win, when I beat you, I want to know that there's no possible excuse that you can use for the fact that I won. That I won so clean, and that it was so undeniable that my skill was greater than yours in that particular moment, and that is why I won. Not by resorting to dirty methods. And that's something that I'd taken with me, like, as a leader in my last career. Like, that's something that I held dear, was that I had like this sense of, this code of honor that wouldn't allow me to do those things. And a lot of people thought I was crazy for doing that, or for believing in that, and it caused a lot of conflict at times. But I couldn't bring myself to do that. During my last career as a DM, people often, customers would come in and they'd be complaining about my competitors, and they're like, people would tell me, they'd be like, well, why do they do this? Or do you know what they do about that? And whatever. And my one of the things I used to tell my store managers, my team members, was that I'm like, at no point do I ever want to hear you bad mouthing the competition, because it makes you look weak. It makes you look like you lack confidence. What you should say is, I don't know what they do over there, but you're more than welcome to go find out for yourself. But let me tell you why we're the best. Let me tell you why we're good at what we do. Right? Now, every job and every company has its flaws and makes mistakes and has the errors and stuff like that, but whatever. But it was the confidence that I wanted them to display. Like, I don't know what they do over there. This is what we do. This is how we handle business. You know what I mean? Like, I always believed that a strong offense is what won games, is what made you win. I don't know, a lot of people would disagree with that, but I always believed that if I was so undeniably good, if I was so overwhelmingly good at what I did, then there was nothing that you can do to stop me. And that's how I ran my stores. That's how I ran my district. And that was the mentality that I try to instill into my store managers. Like, you have to be so confident, not cocky, but so confident in your ability to do the job, to run an honest business, that it didn't matter what somebody else did. I was in charge because my district was on an outlier away from, like, it was away from like the regional office. I used to do a lot of my own orientations for my new hires. And part of the orientation packet was that I had to get them to sign a no competition clause. And what that means was that in it, we requested that if you worked for us and you choose to leave for any reason, you couldn't go work for a competitor within 2 miles of the store for however many years. I can't remember. And people would look at me, a lot of new hires look at me and they'd be like, and I would tell them, look, dude, I don't care where the hell you go after you leave here. I'm not gonna chase you. I'm not gonna go searching for you and be like, you can't do this and report you or anything like that, because let me tell you something. You can go work for the competitor. You can go and tell them everything that we do here, step by step. They still had to do it better than me. They still had to perform my job better than me. And that's just the principle of what I held dear to me. Like, it was something that I can't compromise in. Like, I don't need to cheat you to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to cheat you to beat you. Like, I'm gonna do my job to the best of my ability, and the people who resonate with it, and the people who are attracted to it are gonna do what, gonna be what they are, or they're gonna find me. And those who don't care, and they're gonna do whatever. There's something I learned a long time ago from a movie. That's why I'm a storyteller. Like, I love to watch movies. I was a movie guy. Like, I love movies. Anyway, something I learned from a movie, it was called Highlander Endgame. And I used to be a really big Highlander fan back in the day. And two characters that were bound over the centuries, and the oldest one told the youngest one, his pupil, his protege, he said, the only thing that matters, the only thing that you have in this world that's worth any value, that no one can take from you, is your word and your bonds. You break those two things and you will never be looked at the same. Your word and your bonds. And I say that to say this, as in terms of, going back to how I started this conversation with YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to grow something. I'm trying to build something. But I refuse to resort to doing things that are shady or unethical simply to get you to click, simply to get your attention. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, how you win, to me, is just as important as winning in itself. And I'd rather not win, I'd rather not gain a click and keep my honor and be able to look myself in the mirror than to do something that's dishonest or deceiving just so I can say that somebody clicked on my video and I got views. If you're a leader, then understand that win or lose, whether you win or lose, the people that you're leading are gonna pay attention to that. And yeah, you might get the promotion and you might get the title and you might get the money and all of that stuff, but what you lose in return is your self-respect, is your word, and the bonds that you created in the process. Because then it tells people that you're willing to be dirty just to say that you win. And you gotta ask yourself, is that worth the price of winning? I don't think so.